Hi, Paul Sackers, Good News Planet. I'm speaking to Martha Denise. Hi, Martha. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. It's fine, actually, but not to worry too much.
How does the actors? Are they related to you? Is it?
Yes, they're my brothers.
The actors are your brothers. Your family is the acting family of England.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's super. They're very fine actors, and you're a very fine film producer. And those guys are peaceniks, too. I know that. Well, we're going to talk about that after. Well, congratulations. And I got the opportunity to see I'm going to call you art / film / new media / digital media / a lot of slashes type of person. Tell me what I saw. Now, in your mind, I saw something called Nativity. Is that right?
That's right. That's the name of that's the title of the artwork. Absolutely.
Okay. So, for you? What did you make?
I think all your slash references are exactly right. I mean, I'm a director, so I make, moving images and put sequences together in the ways that we're all familiar with. But this is a bit of a shift in that process. I was fortunate to work with a fantastic post-production company and some seriously brainy people, particularly the man who coded this really artificial intelligence. And what this system does is create an image whereby the computer drives the changes to the image. So it's almost like an image becomes enchanted, magical. It possesses its own decision-making power. So in a way, the director is a bit obsolete once you've put this thing together. And the image is making decisions constantly in real time. And unlike a movie, which has a beginning and a middle and an end, and if you watch any movie again, it's going to be exactly the same. This piece, people have called it a new media platform or a paradigm shift in moving image media. But what it does is continually manifest as I say, driven by this sort of intelligence, this coded, unique, bespoke, coded software. So you have a different kind of moving image experience, and I tend to think people should encounter this as you would a painting or a still image or photograph, something that you choose how long your dwell time is and what you want to take out of it. You're not meant to sort of watch it to the end, because it doesn't have an end. So I hope that gives some kind of basic description.
Well, let me ask you, as far as, the message is the medium, or the media is the message, Marshall McLuhan. What, in your feeling, in addition to all my slashes right here of this kind of art and that sharing all that, the message of let's in Broadway terms they call it the book. What is the message, do you feel, with, you have a name to it, right? Nativity. And what is the message that you use this new technology, let's call it, new art form, to depict?
Well, it's a really good question. I quite agree. The medium is the message, or they say form is content. So there is when the marriage of the idea is put into the particular medium, you have a particular outcome. And I think that in this case, it's a different kind of exchange. You receive something differently. Now, of course, you give any person or any director a camera, or a paintbrush, every individual is gonna make it differently. So this first piece, yes, it's called Nativity, and it's inspired by the huge amount of beautiful imagery that has been created over the centuries since that story occurred, and it's a very obviously universally known story. And so I've wanted to interpret that and explore certain ideas that I'm interested. It's not by any means for me coming from a religious, as in dogma place at all. I think there's a beautiful universality and mystery, a kind of meta reality of sort of imagery of the subconscious or the soul that I was interested in getting at or getting into in this first piece of work. And I feel that in encountering it and being with the image, and my God, it's been such a fascinating exploration to have made it, is that it speaks to maybe a different kind of frequency of communication. I think all the moving imagery that we're so saturated with as consumers is all quite specific. It's kind of slick, cultural, certain styles to editing that people think it's become a sort of norm. But I think there's a whole lot out there to push this exciting technology we have further into different ways. And I feel that somebody said last night that they felt that they were allowed to make their own personal connections, and you build your own little stories as you watch it. It's kind of difficult to explain if you can't see it.
You're going to be seeing it.
See it. You receive it differently, but there's a sort of strange mystery. It communicates to people differently than traditional moving imagery.
So let me ask you, because I videotaped some of it, right, with my little camera here in my phone, and it usually is very, very good. Can I show some of that while we're talking right now?
Of course you can. Of course you can. The quality on your camera. No, just kidding. Of course, yeah, do, yeah.
Yeah, because then they'll get a sense. I'll tell you how. One of the things that I felt when I saw it. First of all, you basically, to a certain degree, created a new art form, and but as I don't know if you ever saw, and you should see it because you are, a creative type. Koyana Scazzi, I say this.
Koyana Scazzi, I know it well. Yes, absolutely.
All right, with the Philip Glass music, and that in my mind. All right, so because I didn't know what I was going to see, except for my friend Jewel, who I trust explicitly with everything, said this is well worth coming and being part of. So, and she was so right. But I felt your movie, / gave me that kind of a feeling, which doesn't happen that often, because in essence, most media out there is redundant, the same, and I'm in the media business 40 plus years. It's the same thing. They just do it the same kind of way, the same kind of sharing of information. You are sharing information in a way like Koyana Scazzi, which was like magnificent in my brain.
Absolutely.
I think you did a beautiful job here. Another thing that I wanted to say, I don't know if you ever seen the shadow box. It's like a box. The way that the piece of work looked like was a box that it had almost like inside marionettes or inside movement within it.
Yes.
How did you come up with this concept?
Well, it's a very interesting point to go back to the first half of what you were saying. I've always been really respectful of some of the great art movie makers, and I would include the brilliant Russian Andrei Tarkovsky in that, alongside, of course, Koyana Scazzi, which is a kind of seminal art movie. I think it was made in the 70s. And I remember thinking, I don't think there is no funding place for the art movie in this contemporary climate. And it requires you to sit down and watch something. I think there are difficulties with the process of making and distributing and being financed. And I found myself not inclined to do that, but still very interested in this more resonant, contemplative kind of content that I think could be got at. So I remember thinking one day, there's no point in wanting to make art films, because it's not the time for it now, I don't believe. But in that moment almost of a sort of disappointment, I remember thinking, hey, what you make is paintings that are film art. You make film art paintings. And it's suddenly, and therefore you're not requiring that people have to sit down and watch it, pay to go in, sit down for the 2 hours or buy the DVD. They can encounter these paintings for as long as they wish to be there. And it's been very interesting how people respond to that, because they're then free. They're not kind of bound by, what did I miss at the beginning? Did you stay to the end? They're not bound to the fixed linear process. This piece is alive and will show you. My thing is, whenever you see it, you can choose how long you want to see it, and you will take from it whatever you want, and it will manifest to you. Whatever it's manifesting to you when you see it, it was right for you to see it then. You know, if you want to watch more, you watch more. It never stops. So it's a different kind of relationship to the viewer / consumer completely. You can enjoy it without being bound by the sort of the linear thing. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And what they also, though, can do, and I'll just say it because it's just what happened with me personally, because I'm running around here trying to do Peace Day party, get the whole world to pause for the Day of Peace on September 21st. And as they've already agreed to have a global truce through the United Nations. And so we're having a major event here. We're in process of, you know. So when I saw that I was going to be speaking with you, and I was also going to be speaking to Myra, I somehow, I just want to say this is how wonderful your work is, and where I think other areas it can go, was that because Myra works with innocence in danger, right? Works with unfortunate.
And she's an amazing woman. Absolutely.
And sexually, trafficked and terrible kinds of stuff, right? So
Absolutely.
actually, I thought the movie I was going to see was partially part of that mindset. Okay, I'm so busy, I didn't read anything. So
no, it wasn't connected. There wasn't. I mean, we're friends, but and she very kindly introduced it. But there's not a direct connection.
But let me say, I was waiting. I understand that, but I was waiting for the baby to be kidnapped, and so why I'm saying it to you, who is doing this beautiful, wonderful work, and concept of utilizing the world of media. Okay, I'm going to call it media. You could, with a very serious subject like I'm speaking about, you could really make a major impact on someone's brain.
Well, I think that's very. First of all, thank you so much for your generous words, and I completely agree. I find myself, having made this first sort of fully realised an R&D prototype, I think, my gosh, what a body of work is out there to be made, and how can it resonate, and what subject matter? Because this platform communicates in a way that isn't the kind of almost like the prose of drama we've come to expect, literal and sort of prosaic explanations of ideas in drama or documentary. But I think we can evoke with this non-linear narrative. We can raise the emotions of ideas, and the content of course, the amazing IID charity that Myra heads up is such a huge, profound, and important, and tragic aspect of our society. And to raise the consciousness by having a vision for an idea working to this platform, I think could be extremely moving. And you're not explaining stuff, you're not putting people through the sort of agony of having to confront some very depressing, dark stories. I think you can evoke an emotional raising of consciousness, if you like, a sort of emotional engagement, so that they feel rather than being told. The feeling is coming through them through the imagery of becoming aware, just aware of what is going on in this world, and how we are all a part of that responsibility to it and to all of our fellow brethren.
I'm so much on the same page, every single word that you said. I also heard the word Holocaust something, and this could be in that same fashion. The message could be amazing with this kind of art.
Thank you. I feel the same. I feel that big commemorative pieces, it could lend itself to very much.
You had a great team, MPC, right? Leading post-production house, which gets those images pulled together. You had I believe, a brother who made some music for you. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Yes, MPC with a post-production house, and my brother Magnus, who is a composer, music producer, amazingly gifted. I work with him a lot, and he did both the score on both my movies. He did the score to this Nativity piece. Yeah. And,
the music was very, very, I don't know whether you call it Middle Eastern, or there was a complement of instruments that was enchanting. And so your English brother, he's pretty good, huh?
He's not bad. I actually think Magnus can, turn his hand to anything. I mean, he produced an All Saints album that went platinum, and he can do the most kind of haunting duduk music. There's incredible Russian Eastern instrument that is in the score he did for Onegin, my first movie. So he can turn his hand. His versatility is absolutely amazing, and I think for this we were trying to explore the Nativity, bringing it into a contemporary, edgy place, because some of the score is very modern and quite sort of disharmonious, and other moments of it are we were obviously alluding to perhaps the Middle Eastern aspect of the birth of Christ, but it goes through the gamut. It's about kind of bringing it into a universality and a contemporariness too.
So let me ask you, because your family is so talented, overall, in many ways. What did your parents serve you for food?
So funny. I think we obviously, without, when you have your upbringing, you can't relate it to anything else, so you don't know any different. So it's just a normal upbringing. But I guess if I take a bit of distance on it, our mother was very passionate about creativity and discipline. So a lot of her encouragement, and we had very strong parents and very close-knit, familial, creative, communicative environment where creativity was absolutely encouraged, and being truthful to your inclination was encouraged, and to be done so at the best of your ability. So actually she was quite a disciplinarian, our mother, but it was just so long as you really did what you did with care and passion, it didn't matter what it was, more or less. But I think obviously creativity was quite heavily underlined.
Yeah, a little discipline never hurts. If done in the right way, I think it does help us young little kids. As a grandpa, I am. It helps. It helps, because what do you know when you're a little kid? Not that you know that much more when you're older, but in essence, you have.
It's and it's. I mean, I'm a parent too, and it's quite tiring. You're quite sort of emotionally exposed as they make the transition from children to teenagers, which is where I am, and I sort of recall that process in oneself, and of course you then think, oh my God, the boot's on the other foot, and how do we do this? And then we've got a society that's exposing them to so much more stuff than obviously certainly than I had in media and communication. And so we're grappling with a lot of that as well. We're all guinea pigs here, in fact, in so many ways.
It's all good. Last question. What's good news for you, Martha?
What's good news for me? The good news is being in the Big Apple. It's an amazing city right now as I look out from the window where I'm standing. That's very good news. It's a very exciting, amazing city. Unique in the world, actually. Incredible vibrancy and creativity and intensity. Really wonderful to be here.
There you go. We're happy to have you here. We're all part of the one world kind of a thing.
Absolutely. Sure.
Do you have a website that we could share with people?
Yes. The Nativity is. It has its own website which describes what it is. So shall I read it out?
Yeah, you can mention out. Yeah, please.
It's www.slowimage, which is spelled SLOIMAGE.co.uk/nativity. So www.slowimage.co.uk/nativity.
Well, I think I got it. Well, sloimage.uk/nativity. Did I miss something in the middle there?
www.slowimage.co.uk/co.
C-O. What's that co over there?
It's UK URL .co.uk. It's very foreign. Sorry.
No, it's good. I am very happy. I am learning a little bit more, and so is our audience, unless there's no it all already. Beautiful, Martha. Thanks so much, and I appreciate taking the time to speak with us and sharing your good news. Take care.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much. All the best. My pleasure.
All the best to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.